Hello and welcome to another journey. So, taking a nice deep breath in and a deep exhale. So, how are we all today? Wherever you are in this now moment, in time, space. Today, I would like to talk about the planet and our connection to her, and the archetype of the eco-warrior. So, get yourself settled, comfortable, and we shall begin. So, firstly, how do you feel about the planet? What are the first thoughts and feelings that come up for you? Do you feel an energy or some concerns and worries, or pain, or harmony or discord, chaos or order? What are you feeling in your relationship with the planet? Do you feel that you carry the world's problems on your shoulders, or are you apathetic and you do not even think about the planet as a living entity, as a living being? So planets, stars, all the celestial bodies are actual bodies. We do not see it as such. We see spheres of light and energy and colours and movement and land and water, but there's a consciousness of each planet and the sun and stars. They've got an essence to them, and we are like cells on the body of the planet. So really beginning to see yourself now as a cell on the planet as a whole. Through popular culture, through TV, and news, we've begun to see ourselves as parasites. You know, in the movie The Matrix, where I've forgotten his name, but he's always saying Mr. Anderson, that man who's always calling Neo Mr. Anderson. He with the sunglasses, and he has that moment with, spoilers if anyone's not watched The Matrix, he's with Morpheus, and he's saying how he views humans as these parasites, just consuming whatever and then destroying and then going on, moving on. Well, this is one perspective, and it is easy to see our patterns very similar to a parasite. However, a parasite or a virus is a living being as well, with a certain agenda and purpose. So, for example, a virus, it is spreading information, and we may receive or reject the information. So we may get ill, and a lot of people are around the world with coronavirus, for example, as a virus. It's bringing certain information, the virus, it's changing and morphing our DNA so that we will be more in line with the higher vibrations and frequencies that are coming through. So if you're not ready to receive that information, so even if it's another type of virus that we've experienced over history or that are out there in the world currently, presently, if you are not ready to receive this information, or it is incompatible, this is when when people can die from these viruses. So the process of getting sick from it is really the process of experiencing the information. How is it feeling in your body? There may be some expulsions, coughs, burps, vomiting, diarrhea. All of this is getting rid of all of the cells that are no longer necessary, the energies and frequencies that are no longer necessary in the body, that are not compatible with the new information coming in. So when you begin to see a virus in this way, rather than something that's there to destroy, you see it does carry a purpose, even though this purpose may not be perceived beneficial for the human race or for an animal race when they all get infected with some certain disease. So this disease comes from dis-ease. It's this shifting, you're not feeling so at ease, you're not comfortable, you're going off the comfortable plane, you're venturing into novelty, into something new. As Terence McKenna loved to say, the world is a novelty generating machine or creating machine. And so, yes, if you view yourself as a parasite, however you view yourself can change. You can change how you see yourself. So, of course, you will base your perceptions of yourself on everything you have previously done. But when you start to get to the understanding and realization that you are more than yourself, you are actually, and you start to realize you are a cell on the planet, then you can begin to change how you as a cell will respond to external stimuli and to internal stimuli. Thoughts can be perceived as internal or external. As we are receiving thoughts, we are generating thoughts also. So which ones you integrate down into your body and bring in and form as a belief when it starts to get to the hips, and when you add feeling to the thought, then you shift and you change. So this could be for the better or for the worse. If you start to integrate a negative belief, someone shouted at you saying you're this, you're that, you're no good, you'll never make it, all of these type of things knocking you down, and something inside you gets triggered, and if you choose to believe it and accept it, see, in the moment you don't see that you have a choice. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? You're in that fight or flight mode. Your body, on the other hand, is already doing some unconscious work based on your beliefs and your strength in that moment, your inner strength, your power, how your power center is doing. So at a young age, maybe this is not so formed. So when you hear these things, you don't really know yourself as an identity, as more than what people are telling you. So you may integrate it really rapidly, and it may block you in certain ways through life. So when these thoughts start to come up, then it's an opportunity to look at yourself again and your cell, your cell again, and reassess. Okay, do I really need to believe this anymore? Maybe for 20 years you've been carrying this belief that you're not good enough, and then it comes up again, and maybe by now you have enough experience to show, actually, there have been many moments in life where I have been good enough. I am worthy, I am, I'm supposed to be here. I am a sovereign cell on this planet. We're all supposed to be here, otherwise we would not be here. So a lot of us do not believe in or are not aware of synchronicities in our lives when things line up, to see something bigger than just you notice. Then you're bigger than just yourself, because events are coming into your life that you've thought of, so you can see this direct connection between what you're thinking and actually happening out in the world, and things start to line up for you, opportunities, people, places. So when you get into this space, you're really activating and awakening as a cell on the body, and once you bring consciousness into your cell, into your being, then you really start to awaken and expand and generate positivity, and this can then shift the information that you've received from the external world. You can now start to take all of these thoughts and things that haven't served you or have been blocking you, and you can start to release them back down into the earth to be transmuted, to be transformed, and you can start to transform yourself so you can best serve the planet. Because a lot of capitalism and corporizations of the planet and society has led to a lot of individualization way of thinking. So it's all about money, about competition, about getting as far and as ahead as you can and leaving everyone else behind you and not looking back. Well, this is not really a sustainable way of living or thinking, because if you do this, you've lost all your connections to your past. You've lost all the people and the things that built you up in the first place. So if you come to a low point, then you are all alone and you can't do anything. You're stuck and you may crash and burn. And we see so many cases of this in wider society. So in Indian society, for example, when you get to an elderly age and you've accumulated a lot of wealth, you then share all of this wealth and give it back to your family, to your children, to your brothers and sisters, to the elderly. You give it back to your community, and you then start off again with nothing. So this is a perfect example of a cycle. So you're starting off with nothing at birth, and then as you're old again, you're returning to nothing, and you really can start to live in that innocence, in that beauty of life. And there's a recognition there that success isn't the top, it's a circle, it's a cycle. So then their success and their wealth is lifting up the next generation, the whole community, so that all can come to this beautiful feeling of success, of abundance, of freedom, of relaxation and ability to really be yourself without any financial worries or societal pressures and things like this. You can build yourself up. You've been given that gift to do so from people who will support you. So yes, in Western society, we are coming to a shift now of thinking, in a way of thinking. There is more concern for the planet. There's more concern for humanitarianism, for human rights. It's amazing, the human resources department and ethical departments in businesses are really changing, and even in leadership, the way that leaders now, they go on retreats to how to become more sustainable and more integrative leaders that can really give the best to their people, their staff, their employees, how they can really optimize working for them. So we're going away from this 9-to-5 robotic system or industrialization, and we're going to something a lot more sustainable. So something where which is more in line with the planet, because we cannot continue this pace of movement. And when the world stopped last year in 2020 and everything shut down, the airports closed, people stopped going on the motorways, everyone was at home, the streets were silent. This was the pause, the moment of absolute stillness for the planet, and the earth began to breathe again, so it could start to move. And so we must recognize that this was important and necessary for the planet. Otherwise, we would have gone into the other time stream of destruction and having burnt our planet to the ground. So coronavirus came in at a time which was necessary for change, for the planet to be able to create itself again, to move into something new where we are no longer separate, or we're no longer believing that we are separate from the planet, from her, from Mama Gaia, from Pachamama, but we are recognizing our connection with her, and we are actively living our lives in a way that is supporting her. So be this energetically, so you are in your thoughts, you are viewing yourself, your cell, as radiant and beautiful and is giving to the earth as well as yourself. So once you start to connect to the earth in this way, you will generate more energy, for the earth has an abundance of energy from within. And so when you start to connect to your lower chakras and down into the ground, the what's it called? The earth star chakra, below your feet, down into the ground, below your spine, down into the ground. And once you connect down into the earth, you can receive a lot of energy from her to awaken, to activate, and to shine your light, and to really start to become aware and respective of the planet. So you walk around now and you see litter and you pick it up and you chuck it in the bin. Before, maybe when you had no consciousness that you were connected to the planet and that we are a collective, maybe you would have walked past and just thought, that's not my problem. In the individualized mindset of competition and constantly gaining. Well, then when you are connected to the planet and you realize that you are a part of her, you see this piece of plastic or rubbish and you realize that directly is impacting me, because it will reduce my ability to breathe cleanly, to have fresh water. So you see it on a bigger scale, and so you see yourself as, you don't see it as someone chucked this piece. You see it as, this needs to be in the bin. It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be in the grass. It shouldn't be in the trees. This plastic should not be there. And of course, in hundreds and thousands of years, it will all be covered anyway, but we really need to do our bit to clear up if we feel to. So really connecting with how you feel. So if one day you see the plastic and you think, no, I don't want to pick up, don't pick it up, because you're not in the mind space to connect in that way. When on the days you do feel, right, yeah, you see the plastic, you feel an urge to pick it up, do not stop yourself. This is a good urge. It is a good urge to go to want to pick it up and put it in the bin where it's supposed to be. So then we are cleaning not only the physicality but the energetic areas in nature. We're cleansing all of the parts that are in discord, that are not in harmony. So yes, this is how we all can be eco-warriors and find this eco-warrior connection within ourselves. You do not need to be doing a big extravagant mission, and for those that are, we all really thank you for that, and we appreciate the sacrifice, and also recognize that in many ways it is not a sacrifice, because you gain so much energy from doing something so compassionate and so loving and so good for the planet, because then you feel it in yourself, it's so good for you. You will feel good from this. So really it is a gain. It is an abundance, a feeling of abundance there. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, you see so much plastic around, you do not need to clean it all up, just clean as much as you feel to. You may, by doing this, starting this process, others may see you picking up litter and see you clearing some of it away, and they may then feel inspired when you leave to pick up their bit. And then eventually, this consciousness passes on to everyone, seeing that it is acceptable to do this, it is normalized to do this. And then eventually, people won't be chucking litter anymore, because it just won't be a thought. It won't be a thought that is so normalized in the consciousness. So really, it's about changing consciousness. As many of us that can start to become more aware, more connected within ourselves and within ourselves. And then connecting to your cells individually as well, and feeding them love, feeding them this wholeness. And then as more people can do that, then the thoughts that come into, we all receive from the collective, from the generalized sway of what everyone is thinking, will change. It won't be, you won't get a thought to drink a juice and then just chuck it. You'll drink the juice and you'll have a moment of pause. Where's the bin? You'll be looking for a bin. Because the thought streams that are coming in are now different, because enough people have shifted their way of thinking. So this is really what we want to get to, is shifting our thought patterns. Meditation teaches us to observe the thought patterns. So start there, And once you observe them, see the ones that serve you, the ones that do not, which ones benefit you, which ones make you feel good, alive, connected, which ones make you feel dragged down, and the ones that make you feel uneasy or some belly rumbles begin. Work with it. So do not discard it, do not chuck it away, say that's not for me. Maybe in some moments you may want to, you may just want to put that front and just go, no, I don't want that. And other thoughts may come up where you might want to work with it. It may be a thought of some sort of belief that you've held for a while now, and it is time to purge it. It is time to release it. And so what are the affirmations and the words that are really going to turn that thought around? So some negativities need work. So many people get stuck in negative thought patterns. And this is when depression can really get bad, is when you see an endless loop of these negativities and you just feel powerless to get out of it because you've just been spiraling down, lower. Well, you always can get out of depression. It takes time, it takes perseverance, and it takes endurance. So it's being gentle with yourself. It's when one of these thoughts come up that really knock you down, is how are you going to relate to that thought? Are you easily going to accept it? And that's the first thing we do when we are depressed, is we just accept whatever thought, and we're like, and another reason why I can't get out of bed. But I strongly urge you and encourage you to be gentle and be kind with yourself. So if any thoughts come in that do not feel kind or do not feel gentle, then start to challenge them. Start to try and find a voice within you that will fight for you. Is there someone in your life as a child or in your life now that has fought for you? Have you fought for someone before? Have you stood your ground and up to someone and said, no, this is not how you treat this person, this is not how you treat me, or another person has done it for you? And connect with that lion within you, and use that to allow that voice to come up when these negative thought patterns are dragging you down and you feel you can't get out of it. Fight with love, because we are not wanting to bash the negative thought down as it is trying to do to us. We want to embrace it and feed it love so it can transform and turn into something beautiful. So it's as if you can start to see the vulnerability and the fragility in the thought itself. And once you begin to see its cracks where it's really suffering, and you can start to see, okay, all this anger and rage or this aggression is really coming from a place of vulnerability, that this part of yourself is feeling insecure or unable or incapable or lost or uncertain. And so really it needs love, it needs the warm embrace, your warm embrace. It needs you to hug yourself and say it's going to be okay, and to feed the doubt, the uncertainty with some love, and remembering that you're connected to the earth and you can get that energy up. And when you get that energy up, it will be so much easier to give this darkness unconditional love, for the earth constantly offers up unconditional love to us. She wants us all to awaken. So it's really beautiful to connect with plants, with animals. These are pure essences of unconditional love. A flower will unconditionally love you, it will look at you, and it will just radiate its magnificence for you, to everyone it sees, to every thing around it. It is just in this alignment of energy. And so you can begin to see Mother Earth as the same. She's offering this unconditional love. This is her purpose. This is what she's here to do, is just offer this, because she is unconditional love. So when you tap into that, and when you connect your cell to our bigger body, we're just this one tiny cell of a massive planet. And when you connect to your bigger body, the planet, the whole earth itself, and recognize yourself as one cell, you will start to feel connected to everything around you. everything, because you know that you're part of all, you're part of something so much bigger. And then these negativities will no longer feel so scary, because you will have this love within you. And so really finding this love and this connection and this compassion. And if you have had your heart blocked for a long time and you've encased it with stone, that is okay. It serves a purpose. We do this to protect ourselves because we've been attacked for so long. So beginning to find the moments where you no longer feel attacked, where you feel loved. It may be that you have one nice friend who will always smile or at you, no matter what you're going through, or something, you walk down the street, someone offers you a smile or a thank you or something, and these tiny little bits of kindness, find them within your life and start to allow them to go into your heart. You don't need to open your heart to people for them to cut it down. You can allow your heart to open, and you can protect that space, and you can set a boundary around your heart saying nothing that can harm me can come near to me. So you set this protection, and if you start to notice a person and they seem to attack you, you can now say, right, I don't need to shine my light on this person, or I won't interact with you if you are going to continue to interact in this way. I will leave and shine my heart somewhere else. So instead of taking their aggressive energy and letting it harden you, to keep your heart open and put this boundary saying, right, I'm not letting your hardness get to me. I'm nice and gentle and soft. I'm where I want to be. Your hardness can carry on, but I'm going to go elsewhere, and I'm going to shine my light on those who are receptive of this energy. So, yes, get yourself out of not uncomfortable, but situations where you know you shouldn't be in anymore. Get out of anyone who is causing you pain or abuse or suffering emotional manipulation or anything in this regards. Anything that is shutting you down, taking your light away and giving your power away, it's time to stop. It's time to say no. This is not acceptable. Using your voice and saying no. It's okay to say no. It's important to say no. It's the opposite of yes, so you should be saying it half the time. Because you're gonna see a lot from this life of things that you don't want. So you've got to say no, and yes to this thing that you do want. So beautiful, beautiful souls. What a lovely session we've had. I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about at the beginning. I just had a sense of the planet, and this crystal popped out at the beginning before I started filming. And so I thought, yes, we need to talk about the planet. We need to talk about this eco warrior within. And this is malachite in this beautiful yin shape. And it has a meaning. The shape itself, I need to research a bit more, look at the product, because it's Japanese crafted for protection, and it reduces EMF radiation around, so it's a really good crystal to have, this malachite. So a lot of people may be talking about moldavite at the moment, and I have used moldavite in the past. It gave me amazing visuals, but at the same time it's all about this chaotic destruction. So it's all about this big changes in your life, and I did go through a lot of big changes, but a lot of traumas. So now this malachite, my cousin recommended me to get malachite instead of moldavite, not buying that again, for peaceful changes, for good transformations, for everything coming in its time. So I am going through a big transformational change in every aspect of my life at the moment, and this is really helping for it to be something that I can keep up with, something that is for my highest good, my best interest. So if that resonated, then definitely check out malachite, and I will leave you here As always, may your soul be infused with love and with light. We love it. So take care, everyone, and whatever resonated, may that serve you. And please subscribe if you enjoyed. So blessed thy all be.